Good evening, everyone. I'm Erin Clark.
I'm Dan Green. We are beginning tonight with the latest information that we are learning surrounding the arrest of these two people, Tammy Huntsman and Gonzalo Curiel. Also, the role that they may have played in the death of two Salinas children.
Those children were found dead in a Redding, California storage locker. Now, if convicted, these two could face the death penalty. Action News reporter Felix Cortez is live in Salinas with tonight's top story.
Well, Erin, Dan, we now know that 39-year-old Tammy Huntsman and 17-year-old Gonzalo Curiel were in a dating relationship. Today, prosecutors announced the couple will be charged with murder.
Those were my babies. I can't do this. Those were my babies.
A woman identified as Tammy Huntsman's mother says her daughter was a loving caretaker to three children, now at the center of a deadly child abuse case that had its beginnings in this East Salinas apartment. But the mother says things took a drastic turn when Huntsman's 17-year-old boyfriend, Gonzalo Curiel, moved in last year. Both will soon be charged with the murder of two kids and torturing another.
I want you to know one thing. Those were the most precious babies in the world, and that's all I can tell you, and they didn't deserve this. Okay? That's my comment. Those babies didn't deserve this. They were precious.
Huntsman's family broke their silence the same day Salinas police and prosecutors opened up, revealing new details about the case. Salinas Police Chief Kelly McMillan said it was the most egregious homicide case in his 32-year career as a cop.
Suffice to say that it was terrible. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen such abuse, and I have to leave it at that.
The chief said 3-year-old Delilah Tara and her 6-year-old brother Sean were found dead Sunday in a Redding storage unit.
They were found in one container. How they were transported, when and from where they were transported is investigatively sensitive. We don't talk about that.
District Attorney Dean Flippo said the children died as a result of child abuse that started in Huntsman's Salinas apartment, but prosecutors not saying if that's where the children were killed.
I think we feel very comfortable that we would be able to prove that the children were actually killed in Salinas. Now, I'm not going into the proofs or anything of that sort.
Chief McMillan said his officers responded twice to calls regarding the welfare of the children, but saw no evidence of physical abuse. Social workers went out 4 times. A family member of Huntsman said had somebody done something, the kids would be alive, raising questions as to whether the system failed to save the children.
I will tell you that right off the bat, I'd say that Ms. Huntsman failed these folks. She is the figure, and the 17-year-old, if he has any, had any supervision or care responsibility, failed these children. That's your primary point of failure.
And tonight, Huntsman and Curiel remain in the Plumas County Jail awaiting transfer to Salinas to face those murder charges. Today, prosecutors announced that they will file special circumstances against the pair, alleging the pair committed multiple murders and murder during torture. A conviction could mean life in prison without the possibility of parole for the 17-year-old Curiel. It could mean the death penalty for Huntsman. Erin, Dan.
Thank you very much, Felix. As for when these charges will be filed, according to the DA, Dean Flippo, he says it will happen very soon, possibly tomorrow. They do say that 17-year-old Curiel will be charged as an adult.
Earlier in the week, we learned that the Monterey Social Services had received at least 4 calls from people concerned that the children living in the Fremont Street apartment were being neglected. Today, we learned that Salinas police also received 2 separate calls. Both were from anonymous people. And Police Chief McMillan used today's news conference to remind people of the importance of giving their name when they call in suspected cases of child abuse.
We can only operate on what they provided one time, like to a dispatcher, and sometimes that's not enough to give us a good, strong legal footing. So one of the lessons, one of the takeaways from this to anyone who cares about this kind of information is if abuse is suspected, it's really important that people step forward, be available to law enforcement to be interviewed, and be able to provide as much information to us so we can act immediately and not put a case at risk, and certainly not put children at risk.
As for how Child Protective Services handled the tips in this case, Action News reporter Felix Cortez did sit down with Monterey County Social Services Director Elliot Robinson. You can watch that entire interview talking about the case by going to our website, kspw.com. And we have received many calls, many questions from people wanting to know what they can do to help. We have set up a special page also on our website, kspw.com, to connect you with official agencies accepting donations. Also, you can learn where you can send cards and letters to the 9-year-old abuse survivor.